Yo, what is up, everybody? Once again, you know who it is. It is Kevin from the Chord. Wait, that didn't sound right. The Chord Progression podcast, brought to you by my song of the day, Rock 2000 today. What's going on, everybody? How's it hanging? How you doing? All that jazz. And, well, we got another killer show for you today. We got a great guest on, and we'll get to that in a little bit. We've also got a crap ton of new music to talk about. We might talk about that with our guest a little bit. We'll see what happens. I may add that on at the end because, well, we've got new albums. We had a couple of new singles drop out of nowhere. They're dropping like flies. But let's get into the whole entire thing. And you know how I always start out these. It's with the shameless plugs. Am I being shameless? Am I? I really don't know. So the shameless plug section would be where we would have all the ads come in. But we don't have companies that are like lining up to say, oh, we want to, advertise on your show. Yet being the key. So what are we going to plug during our shameless plug section? We're just going to end up plugging, our own stuff. So this is the Chord Progression podcast brought to you by my song of the day, Rock 2000 to today. If you are a returning listener, I love you guys. Thank you for being the returning listeners because you guys mean the world to me. If you're a first-time listener of the podcast, I want to give you a huge welcome to the Chord Progression podcast brought to you by my song of the day, Rock 2000 to today. Look, the My Song of the Day thing and the Chord Progression podcast, this is what I want to do in life. This is my passion project. I love talking about music. I love talking about anything rock music. It is literally what I love to do. When I went from loving sports, all of a sudden, things were going wacky in life and kind of really trying to figure out what was the thing that was holding me all together. The thing that was holding me all together was music. So I wanted to create something that was going to give a unique and best rock community perspective on the internet to everybody. So that's what we got. Facebook. You want to find out what's all going on with us? Hit us up on Facebook or like our page. You want to talk to us about what's going on in music? That's what Twitter's for. If you want to, connect with us on Instagram because we do a lot of stuff there, you find out all the Song of the Day selections. We ask you a bunch of questions. We really connect with people there as well, along with doing our behind-the-scenes vlog on our IGTV channel, which basically gives you a behind-the-scenes look of what we're doing. Well, what I'm doing because I'm the only one doing this. What I'm doing and what the plan is going forward for a bunch of other different projects. We also do a live stream on Instagram every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central, and that's your time for an hour to come and literally talk to me face to face. Well, not face to face, but you see my face, you hear my voice, and sometimes I do bring people on there as well, just as the fans, because it's kind of cool that way. So you get a big perspective. You come with questions, we give you the answers, but we also get into great conversations. Also, so the most important thing about this is the Amazon Alexa skill. So if you do have an Amazon Echo device, you have not enabled their skill, what are you doing? You got to enable that device. Links for everything, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Get to YouTube later. Podcast and Alexa skill, they are in the description of the podcast. So what does the Alexa skill do? The Alexa skill gives you the opportunity to listen to all the music as it was produced. It's a great way to, discover old bands or rediscover old bands, discover new bands, figure out about songs that you like, and just notice a lot of different things. It's a great way to get your day going, get to the middle of the day, end the day. You get to listen to a song as many times you want for a 24-hour period by just saying, hey Alexa, play my song of the day. And Alexa will play your song of the day. It's awesome. And, well, I pick all the songs, so woohoo! You get a good mix of everything from rock music from the year 2000 today. We mix in metal as well because, well, rock music and metal, they kind of go hand in hand really nicely. So it's a great way to get going with that. And also we have a thing called Small Band Saturday. That's where we feature smaller bands that have not, fully hit it as big as some of our favorites, like Disturbed, Rise Against, Linkin Park, Manson, Motionless in White. Like, they haven't hit it that big, and we're trying to help them get notoriety through our community as we try and grow our community. So we get a lot of different small bands wanting to be on there, especially when we put out our Instagram ads, which right now is just blowing up Instagram right now, and my phone is going absolutely ape crazy the whole entire time. I love it. Absolutely love it. So before we go into the whole entire thing, also check us out on YouTube as well. That's where we do full long-form video about album reviews. Yep, I review a lot of albums. I got one that came out yesterday for Crown the Empire. I got one coming out tomorrow for Sum 41. Well, because it's shot and recorded. Well, it's coming out, I should say, on July 23rd. Yes. So we got a lot of new albums coming out, so we can review them on there, and you get our full take. We also do things like top 10 songs of certain bands, full-on band reviews, answer questions, and just kind of just have some fun with it. So check us out on YouTube as well. Now, that's enough shameless plugs. I kind of went a little bit off the rail on that one, but that's enough for shameless plugs. We've had enough of that. Enough of that. So my guest today, very interesting guest. They reached out to me about being featured on Small Band Saturday, and they will be once it's up to being their turn because, again, there's only 52 Saturdays within a year, so it's whenever they come in. And they sent me their stuff, and I had to take a listen to it. Now, I was shocked when I listened to this, and I will tell them why I was shocked when I listened to this, and I wanted them on the podcast badly. So, let's give them a call. This is Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh. They are a band. I kind of forgot where they're from. That's on me, guys. I am sorry. But we'll hear all about them anyway. The way it looks, I believe this is a band that consists of 3 sisters, but we'll see what happens when we call them. And I listened to their stuff, and I can't wait to let you guys know all about this during our conversation. So, let's call them. Shall we? Wait. Before I call them, let me make sure I got the number right on my phone, because, well, about 1 minute. Yep, we're looking just fine. Let's give them a call and hope they pick up, because otherwise I'm going to look silly. Okay, good. My phone's ringing. Yay! All right, hopefully they pick up. I'm really scared. If they don't, that'll be a first.
Hello?
Hello, is this the ladies of Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh?
It is. No, this is McDonald's, actually. How can we take your order?
Oh, darn. Well, still, woo! All right, well, to all three, welcome to the Chord Progression podcast brought to you by My Song of the Day, Rock 2000 Day. For those of you who, well, the 3 of you, if you don't know who I am, I'm Kevin. I'm the guy that runs pretty much every single aspect of this. So I'm glad to be talking to you 3. And let's start out with some introductions so you guys can introduce yourselves to the audience and so they know who you are, what you're about, and what you do.
Of course. Well, my name's Lulu. I'm drummer for GFM.
My name's CJ. I'm the oldest, and I play guitar, kind of like lead vocals.
And my name is Maggie. I play bass, and I share lead vocals with CJ, and I do the screams.
And we're GFM. We're a beautycore band from Jacksonville, Florida.
From Florida. Interesting. Just because I was when I was listening to the music, just trying to get a big sense of the scene, kind of where you guys were in, especially when now you're saying you're from Florida, because I thought I knew that, but I wanted to make sure I double checked on that. Is there a good scene for like that metalcore, beautycore kind of sound in Florida specifically? I want to revolve around like Tampa because I think that's where a big part of the scene was when I last checked it out.
There are pockets. Like Orlando's a good one. I know Tampa's a really good place to go. Sometimes two venues in Jacksonville. It's just kind of pick and choose. You got to make sure you get to the right place. But honestly, I feel like in every single state, something we found on tour is that there's always a pocket of people who love our music, and it's kind of, sometimes it's hard to find, but there's always someone, like, sometimes it's just randomly you show up and there's a pocket and you like hit a really good spot and there's a whole group of people two-stepping the entire time, and that's so cool to see.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I've been bouncing around all over the place at certain times, just trying to see where the pockets of certain fans are, seeing certain shows in different states. Not that many states, though, probably not as many as you 3 have been to performing shows because, well, sometimes there's a money issue for me that prevents me from doing a lot of things I really want to do. But I do agree where it comes that you just find those small pockets. However, what I like about where I'm living right now is where I've pretty much lived my whole entire life is it's not really a pocket. It's just the whole community is just all around the whole entire area, and they don't really it's like you don't really hear about them, but when shows come to town, they show up hard.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like the place to be.
So yeah, so next time you guys have a chance to, start booking some shows, please come to the Midwest, like Chicago, Madison, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Indiana, Michigan, Iowa, somewhere around there, because there's just fans everywhere.
Well, yeah, we actually, the first half of our tour, it was up in those areas, not specifically those cities, but
a lot of the places we were playing, like you said, they just like show up out of nowhere.
We are playing actually because we're in Texas City right now. We're actually in a zoo that you probably hear a seal in the background. But we're heading back to Missouri and then Indiana, and we're playing the Gathering of the Juggalos. So we're super excited to play that. Kind of scared, but kind of fun. So
Yeah, I think it's a good time.
It's gonna be great.
Wait, you're playing Gathering of the Juggalos?
We are. A lot of people are confused by that, but you know what? Everyone can like our music. There's not just one certain type of people that can like our music. So
I'm curious, how did you guys book that?
they
They
actually,
actually
reached
reached out to
out.
us. Yeah, I think we reached out to them a couple years ago and never heard anything. And then they called us this year, and they just said that they gotten so many requests from other people to bring us in that they had to call us.
Wow, look at how that came full circle. My
I
God.
know, it's so crazy.
So far, how has your tour been up to this point? Because I know I looked at the tour dates because right when I had you guys pegged to be on the Chord Progression podcast, I wanted to see if you were coming anywhere near me so I could actually go and see a show. And the way it looked is just, it was like, you know, the closest place was the Gathering of the Juggalos. So, and I think I've actually like booked for a show, like not booked for a show, but I'm going to a show that night. So it's like, oh man.
No. Yeah, tour's been great so far. We do tour vlogs on our YouTube channel, so if you haven't checked that out, it's the GFM band. But we have done so many things on that. Like we've gone to so many zoos. Right, like we said, we're at one right now.
We've actually done really good routing this tour, and so we've had like a good amount of shows in a row, and then there'll be like a day break, and then we'll go back at it, and then there'll be a couple days off, so we have enough time to like recuperate, and then like we're back at it again.
Yeah. And all the shows have been absolutely like phenomenal. We're so surprised because this is our first tour by ourselves. So the past couple of years we've been on tours. We've been the opening band, so we didn't get as many songs, and we didn't really get a say, you know, in what we do, where we go.
But it's
So-
crazy. Like a lot of the shows we're headlining,
Yeah.
and it's like several people are at the shows, like singing our music and wearing our T-shirts.
Where we wanted to go, and like
Yeah.
all of our fans are reaching out to us on social media saying, "Oh my word, I can finally meet you."
So this is our first tour by ourselves,
It's
and
such a
the
blessing.
outcome has been incredible, and it just makes us smile because we're like so happy that we get to do this and like encourage people with our music, and just all the stories we're hearing of people coming up to us and saying, you know, your music has really helped me, and I really love listening to your music, and it's really awesome to see just how, you know, what us three girls have been able to create with our team and just giving to people, how people love it. So it's really cool.
It's very interesting to hear. I've got a couple of things kind of in mind when it comes around that, because you said you were at first being the opener for different tours, and now this is your own headlining tour where you're just going around and you are the ones that are the main attraction, and now you're having more people come along and are showing up to shows. They want to meet you, they're wearing your merch, and they're just fully embraced in everything about it. So when it came to starting out earlier, when you were on those headline, or when you were opening for certain bands, were you opening for bigger bands, or you're opening for bands that are at the same size that you are right now?
Well, we were opening for bigger bands in the Christian scene, so we jumped on the Summer Rock Fest tour twice. So we opened for 7 Day Slumber. They were like always the main headliner, and there's like Spoken and Random Hero as well. And then I know we jumped on a bunch of like general market festivals as well, and so like Rock Fest we played last year, and like Good Day to Remember and Disturbed were there, and Hailstorm. But we were still kind of the baby band. But now, so we were still like just trying to get our name out there, and some people would come to the show with like our merch, but like most of the time they were being introduced to us, and so they would buy our merch then. And like now coming back to the same places that we went to already, they are like coming back and saying, "Oh my word, I saw you a couple years ago and I fell in love with your music. I've been listening to you ever since. I've been waiting for you guys to come back." And now they know all the words and they're wearing our merch, and it's really cool.
So you're really starting to get that feel that you are becoming a much bigger band than maybe you would have ever imagined you becoming at this point? Or it's like, you know, we knew we were going to do this and now we're at this certain point, but we're just continuing to look forward to see A, how we can better connect with our fans, but B, also and grow that fan base to a point where we're playing sold out arenas and sold out concert halls as the headliner.
We definitely, we don't do it to get big or famous or anything. We always tell everyone that we're honestly just out here trying to encourage people and share our message. We are all Christians, and so while our band, we don't believe a band can be Christians, we share our piece, and if you accept it, that's great, and if not, that's great as well. But that's the only reason we do it. And yeah, it'd be great if our band got big and we started playing arena tours, but if not, like, we're totally chill with it, and we're honestly just doing whatever we feel like God has as GFM's plan to go. So we're definitely trying to grow our fan base because the more fans you have, the more people you can reach. And so we're just trying to broaden our horizon. Yeah, just reach the most amount of people that we can. And so just bringing people in and part of our family. We call them Team GFM, and having like as many people as we can join to have that safe place, that safe environment where they can come to us and like share their stories and everything. That'd be really cool. I think it's awesome too, because we always like have the people come to us who say, I didn't think, anyone really wanted to be my friend. And then or they come to us and say, I didn't really belong to a part of, the normal cliques or whatever. And they found GFM and they're like, I feel like I belong with you guys. And I feel like I'm part of the family. And that's what we really want. We want that environment of everyone belongs here and
everyone needs a hand to hold. So we want to hold your hand.
See, I absolutely love hearing that based on the fact that since I've really started this whole entire project and for a while now, I've been going to a lot of concerts, a lot of shows, but I've been going a lot by myself just because I'd always buy 2 tickets, let's bring a friend. But they would never ever say, oh, I really want to go, or they'd go and then want to go and then say 2 days beforehand, oh, I don't want to pay the money, oh, I just don't feel like going. So I'd always end up going by myself. And the rock community, and I can just start naming bands and their fans that I've been to. I mean, I don't even know how many shows this year, but I've gone to more by myself than I have with people. And just the amount of support that each fan gives to everybody and just the love that there is between one fan to another, it's absolutely amazing. And just there's just utmost respect there to everyone's here for a show and everyone's just here to enjoy. And if, people are in the mosh pit, yeah, if someone gets knocked down, there's 10 people picking them right back up.
Yeah, and I feel like that's such a kind of a misconception that people have of the rock world, and they're like, oh, they're all these people with tattoos and piercings, and they just want to punch you in the face the entire time. They're all angry and angsty, and they don't even know how to be happy. But a lot of it's wrong. If you go to a rock concert, there's more love there than so many other places you might be able to go to. Yeah. So the rock music world is just a whole giant family community, and so I feel like it's such a sad thing that gets overlooked sometimes. Yeah.
It's such an engaged community, too, especially between a lot of the bands and a lot of the fans, because I've seen a lot of different things where it comes to pop artists, maybe rap artists, country artists, and other artists within different genres, where it just doesn't seem they're as well connected to the fans as a lot of these rock and metal groups are. And I've got stories where that I can tell that just exemplify this, where I'll bring up one I saw in this moment about 2.5 months ago here in Milwaukee. And at the end of the show, Maria Brink ended up staying out there for a half hour because there were people that were standing up front for the whole entire show, didn't leave, and she decided to take a half hour to talk to every single one of them.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. That's the kind of stuff we love hearing, because we play a lot of festivals where, granted, sometimes for security reasons you can't come out, and so that's not their fault, but a lot of festivals, some bands won't come out and talk to their fans, and we think that as long as we are able to, as long as it's not a security problem, we are going to come out and talk to everyone, because that's the reason you're still going. Yeah. If no one's at the show watching you, you're not going to be able to have money for your gas to drive some places,
or you're just not going to have anyone to play to. So
yeah. So we definitely, that's so great to hear that people stay out and talk, because that's what we do. We love just talking, and it's kind of fun too, because it's having friends that enjoy the same music that you listen to, and a lot of times we're big nerds, so a lot of times we'll find a bunch of people
out with them. Yeah. Or they'll watch our vlogs, be like, oh my word, I saw you guys do this. It's yeah, we did. He's like, oh, I did this one time too. And it's oh my word, nice.
So it's having a big friend group.
Yeah, it really fosters that connection too. And there's a lot of bands where it's when they do that, it kind of gives them that little bit of a spark once again, over and over again, because they're able to connect with their fans and see how much that what they've created, along with you three, what you have created, really impacts the lives of the people that really love your music, really listen to it, and get into it fully.
Definitely, man.
Now, I kind of have to bring this up though, because when you were talking about what your main purpose was with the band and what your goals were, and how you were portraying that, and kind of being I'm gonna say it's being accessible to the fans, where it's you're playing shows, you're connecting with them all over social, you're giving them an inside scoop with YouTube videos, kind of those video vlogs that just are following you around, just seeing what the fun stuff you guys do, just being yourselves, and then just straight up connection with the fans, just talking after shows. There's a band that I've seen do that is very successful in that space, and they have some of the most dedicated fans, and I can kind of see that happening right now at an early stage where you guys are.
What band is it?
Skillet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. But yeah, we definitely, I mean, we always said that we treat people with respect, like you're to be like treated the same. And so people are like, oh, GFM, like they're bigger than life. But no, like we always like make sure to tell people like we're the same as you. And we just want to have fun. I mean, that's why we come to a show. Sometimes we're like, why do people have to be so serious, especially in the metal like industry? They're like, all guys are like, dumb, like we're serious. But like we're on stage just like jumping around, laughing at each other. Like I push Maggie down sometimes. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, she tripped me last night.
But yeah, we just like to have fun with it and just invite people to have fun
and we do the vlogs because it just shows people like sometimes they're like you were saying, oh my word, GFM's bigger than life, and where you like tell them no we're not, like we're just normal people, and sometimes they're like no but you're a GFM, and like go watch the vlogs, we're normal people, we do stupid stuff on YouTube.
It just provides a platform for you to show off that you are who you are, honestly.
Yeah. Well, because from stage we have such these big stage personalities, so sometimes it is hard to believe that it's not who we are in everyday life, and we're just normal people in everyday life, and we do normal stuff. We go to the zoo, we go to the grocery store, and like we're not constantly screaming, "How are you feeling?" at the zoo. So.
See, now I would expect for like a video from you three, just say all of a sudden, okay, you're in a grocery store, and one of you is literally riding in the cart and just starts to take, a bunch of bananas, just starts peeling them and throwing the banana peels backwards, like and running around like, you're just playing real life Mario Kart in the grocery store.
I mean, sometimes you do that. We're actually not crazy. So that should be a new video vlog idea.
If you want to take it. My little cousin actually was the one that did that, and when he told me the story, I just started laughing. I thought, I wish I would have thought of that first. But if you want to take it, by all means, go and do it, because I would love to watch that video.
It's like in the corner, inspired by.
I'm good with it. Now, I kind of got to bring this up specifically when it comes to your music. Now, when it was first sent to me and I first heard it, anytime anything's sent to me, I will listen to it, because I'm always intrigued about what is going on in the community, what's going on in the world, and what people are creating. There are very few times when music gets sent to me or bands get sent to me where I listen to their stuff and the first thing I hear is a straight up right hook. And what I mean by that is something that's going to, hit me right in the face and just be like, why have I not heard this before? Why have I not been following this before? And the first song I heard from you three, my God, I was hooked like that.
Wow, thank you so much, man.
So what was really the inspiration behind creating the certain style that you have?
Well, we actually recently, with the new EP that came out, we wrote it with our producer, Eric Varnell, and through that whole writing process, the first song we actually wrote was Never Again.
Yeah.
And that's when we kind of feel like we
solidified our sound.
Yeah, we honestly sat down, and when we finished the song, we're like, man, this is really, like, this is what we want our sound to sound like. Like, Graveyard of Identities is a really good album, and it was...
Identity Crisis.
Identity Crisis was a good album, and we enjoyed writing it, but I feel like it was more directed by someone else, and we didn't...
really influenced by other people,
like how to write songs and what to write about and everything. So with this new EP, we really got to like make the decisions ourselves and create the sound of whatever you want to out there call it. We call it beautycore, and
I feel like it's a mixture between like punk thrash and metalcore, because it's we love that fast beat, but it's like intense, like punch in the face.
Yeah, like if Avril Lavigne was the lead singer of like Slipknot or something
in the 90s.
Yeah, it's kind of what I got. It's kind of what I got too, especially because for me, I am a huge punk rock fan. But and then ever since I really started this, I've been getting a lot more into metalcore. Especially when someone told me you gotta listen to Motionless in White, and I'm like, wait, what?
Oh yeah.
And
We played a couple shows with them, and every time they're great guys. They have the best memory. They remember us every show.
They're
It's
actually
so
really
crazy.
nice. Like they look really scary on stage, but they're really nice and
they're
quiet.
really soft spoken.
whoa! Back up! You've played shows with Motionless in White.
Yeah, so in 2016,
I actually broke my ankle that show. It was the Blue Ridge Rock Fest in West Virginia.
We played the Axis and Anchors cruise, and it was like it's kind of like Shiprocks, but it was the sister cruise to that. And so we played that with them, and we were like super little, and we didn't even have the album out yet. And they came and watched us. We forgot our click track. We didn't even have like in-ears or anything.
It was not
It was
good.
really bad. But they all came, and then Chris, he came and talked to us for a really long time. It was like it really encouraged us. It was like, you guys are doing great. Like, I don't know how you play and sing at the same time. That's incredible. And we're like, oh my word, thanks. And then we played a couple festivals with them, I think. We played Blue Ridge, and then
Blue Ridge was like absolutely blew our minds. So that was when we were playing. It was like the heat of the day, and then like I flew like shattered my ankle, broke my fibula in half, my tarsal bone in half, and then shattered the side of my foot. So I was like at the merch table just chilling because I didn't realize I broke it yet. We just wrapped it up, and then usually side stage the bands can go, but it was like full on security, and there was like
you can't stand side stage. There's only like guest list bands can stand side stage.
But then apparently Chris marked us off like GFM and another band could stand side stage. So that was pretty cool. You remembered who we were.
I was like, can we go out there? Like, what's going on? And he's like, well, let me go check the guest list. He's like, yeah, GFM's on there. You can go up. And we're like, what? And then we just wanted, like, after their show, we walked up to him. We're like, hey, we just want to thank you for, like, letting us stand side stage. And then the security's like, oh, no, you can't talk to them. They're doing VIP right now. And he's like, no, I know these girls. He's like, hey, how's it going? And we're like, oh, my word, you remember us. And then we did the media tent at Welcome to Rockville. We didn't play that year, but we got into the media tent and did a bunch of interviews. And he was there. And he, like, waited for a long time to try and, like, talk to us. But he had to go play a show. So he's like, I want to say hi, but I got to go. So, yeah, they're really great guys.
That's absolutely amazing to hear, especially with me getting really into them at the beginning of this year. And then when they came out with Disguise, I basically spent like 2 whole weeks talking about that album, just deep dive into it. But now I got to really get into this. How did you break your ankle and all those different bones on stage? Like, can you go through that whole entire story? Because I'm really intrigued by this.
It's like a dumb little thing that happened, and then like it blew up. Like I was literally jumped off my riser because there's like a big stage outside festival. We have our risers that are like, how tall are they? Like 3 foot? Really?
Not 3 foot. It's like maybe 2 feet. And she tripped over it.
I jumped off the riser, but I usually wear platforms, and so I landed on when I like the roll it, and so it just completely just shattered.
Yeah, it was a couple inches too high, and
I didn't realize it, so I just continued playing because it's the second song in, and so I was just running around. I was like, wow, this actually really hurts. Yeah, and I was like, I can't be a weenie. I gotta keep going.
You literally did your best Dave Grohl impersonation, because when he broke his ankle, he did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
We didn't get the throne, though.
I didn't get the throne, man. I was sitting on a wooden chair when I played, because 3 weeks later, we flew to Germany, and we performed in front of 2,000 people.
We put a towel over your head. A black blanket on top of her head, because we had this big intro that we used to come out to. And we're like, well, see, they can't walk out for the intro. She's got to stay on the stage. And so we just, like, put a blanket over her and walked out and, like, ripped the blanket off. I was like, ooh, magic trick.
See, those are the stories you always have to tell, because those are just the best stories that just show just kind of the goofiness of stuff that can happen on stage, rolling with the punches, and, well, just makes people laugh. It's like, well, look at this. It's just absolutely hilarious. But then you just keep going. You keep playing. You find a way to make it work.
Yeah, great memories, man. And we're not weenies, so you can't take me down, man.
Clearly, you do not belong to Weenie Hut Juniors or Super Weenie Hut Juniors. I cannot remember the tough club from SpongeBob that was all a part of, but you belong there.
Yeah.
I feel really bad now because I felt like I should remember that name, but my SpongeBob trivia is lacking in some areas.
That's hilarious, man.
So you've toured with Motionless in White. What other bands have you really toured with so far? I mean, I think I kind of asked you that, but I just really, when you said you've toured with Motionless in White on a couple of shows, like that just blew my mind.
So the past couple of years, we've done the 2 Summer Rock Fest tours with like the Seventh Day Group, and all the bands that were on there. But we played a bunch of general market festivals, and that's a lot of the bands that we do, because right now the big shows that we get are a lot of like festival shows. So
just like blow our mind.
yeah.
Oh yeah, to play a lot of festivals with like Non-Point, I did remember Disturbed. We actually played a show with Drowning Pool, which was really cool. We played a show with Vince Neil, which was cool because our dad got to fly in and like listen to it because he used to listen to Motley Crue. So I say used to, he still listens to
We
them.
played a couple with Lacey Sturm, which is really cool because she's the one who got us into screaming and like showed us that girls can be screamers too.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna play with Butcher Babies at Juggalos, so that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh, no, wait, you're playing with Butcher Babies?
Yeah, they play the same day we play at the Gathering of the Juggalos this year, so.
I actually got to see Butcher Babies on a happenstance chance because I think it was like 2017. I was going to see Hollywood Undead, and Butcher Babies opened up for him. I thought, well, I'm just here for Hollywood Undead. It was during a really bad time in my life, but so I got there. I missed the first opener, and then Butcher Babies was in the middle with Hollywood Undead headline. I'm like, okay, let's just see what they got, and I can never remember their two names, the two women, but
It's Carla and Heidi.
yeah, they jumped into the mosh pit with us.
Yeah, they put on a really good show.
That impressed the hell out of me, and they were bouncing around there, and I just watch. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! I've never really seen anyone do this, and now we've got two members of Butcher Babies jumping in the mosh pit and just going full force in there, and security was just standing around like, well, what are we supposed to do? And they just kind of let it happen. Thank God they let it happen because that makes for one hell of a time.
Yeah, I love it. I usually jump in the mosh pit. I'm a little scared now when like the stages are like 6 feet tall. I can run down the stairs, run around, and jump in. I start thrashing and like bumping into people while I'm playing, and they're like gets really scared because they don't hit my guitar. But I'm just like, I don't care. And I just like elbowing people in the crowd, and then I run back up and I hit it. But those were the good times when you hit like right back on the stage, and then you just hit the note we were supposed to. It's such a good feeling, man.
I had the exact same thing happen where it was someone jumped in playing bass, and it was the bassist for Atreyu who just jumped in the middle of the pit, and instead of people just bouncing around everywhere, everyone just kind of did the circle pit around him. And he started like motioning. It was like, come on, someone hit me. It was like, wait, what? Can I do that and not get kicked out? I was really kind of nervous, but I held back mostly because I really wanted to see Motionless in White play right after him. So, you three have some really crazy concert stories, from breaking an ankle, breaking multiple parts of your leg, to just jumping in the pit, and just seems like you're just having like the best time out there.
Dude, coming to our concerts, you're promised a fun time. Like you're promised a fun, pure, good time, and that's something we always want to create. We want to create that atmosphere where you should come. Just forget about your worries, forget about your struggles for however long we're playing. Just have fun. Mosh if you want to. If not, that's cool. You can dance.
We were raised to perform and put on a show. And because our dad always said, these people aren't coming to listen to the music. They're coming to see a show and listen to the music.
Because we want people to not only hear the music, but see the music. And we want people to just have an imagery to what our music looks like. Because obviously there's music videos. But music videos, I feel like, they can only do so much because it's not live. Like coming to a concert, you're seeing and like you're in the you're just there for the music. I don't know how to describe it, man. It's for the music. What was I gonna say? Performance.
Oh, yeah, that's performing. It's also like we do the show thing, but we also don't take no for an answer. And I feel like that's a lot of these people are like, oh, how do you get all these crowds to do like all these jumpy things and clap their hands? And I just tell them like, we don't take no for an answer. I yell at them until they do it.
It's really intimidating, actually. I kind of get scared.
Yeah, but then you yell at them, and then they start doing it. You're just like, well, I did something good. Just keep it going.
Yeah.
Now, whenever I see shows, I always end up seeing three types of shows when it comes to how the specific band that's playing goes out there and performs. And the three I always kind of see are either they go up there and they just play straight through, and they're just basically playing so people can listen to the music, and then that's it. I've seen a couple like that. I've seen others where they go well beyond theatrical, and they just try and put on a show that you're just gonna pay attention as most to the show as you possibly can, and it's just gonna blow your mind, much like what In This Moment does, because they put on just one hell of a set piece. It's absolutely fantastic, and just all the different moving pieces around there. but the type of shows that I really, really love to go see, and from your kind of description of how you guys play at shows and how you perform, that's the type of show I like to see where you're just out there fully enjoying yourself and really engaging with the audience, engaging with the crowd, and you're using your energy to drive how the show is going.
Yeah, we
love it.
We just want to have a fun time. We're
Yeah.
just here to hang and not take ourselves seriously, you know?
And I'm so glad we get to do it with my sisters, because I feel it just adds another level to it. We get to do it with my family, and our parents, they travel on the road with us. Our dad as much as possible, because he travels for his work, but he sometimes gets to fly in. And then our mom travels with us, and so it's just like a family whole thing. Like we always say, we're never homesick because we take our home with us. So yeah, it's such a blessing, man.
That's something that you should never take for granted, because there are a lot of stories out there where people, they're going on the road and then sometimes they just say, you know what, I'm done with this, because they've missed their family and they just want to spend some time with them. And it's kind of, they're being pulled away from them. But for you three, and it's a whole entire family thing where your parents are flying out. You probably have other family that are flying out to see certain shows or whenever they can. And it just feels like that is never going to be an issue for you, where you're always going to feel the love. You're always going to feel that home feeling no matter where you go, because everyone that you truly care about, like the 10 people you truly care about, where if something bad were to happen, it would just, be just world shattering, are always there with you.
Yeah.
And think about that, I probably butchered that by saying, if something bad happened, because you never want something bad to happen to anybody, but
yeah, well,
I kind of just...
know, man. We always say, because our dad says that, never live life, what is it, something's bad's going to happen, because, it's the world, stuff is going to happen. You have to...
Well, if something's going to happen, it's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it, so you don't live in that fear. You just YOLO, man.
YOLO. Oh, my word.
Or it's also the good quote of... don't take life too seriously. You're never going to get out alive. I mean, death is 100%. So it's bad 1,000. So
that's 100%, and party is however percent much you take it. So
exactly. So you gotta do what you love, and if you don't, then it's kind of, well, are you wasting it, or is something not going right? But if you're just fully focused on doing what makes you happy, and then living a life that what you want to do, which it seems like for all three of you is exactly what you're doing, that's the way to go about. I almost butchered that too. That's the way to go about it.
Yeah, that's right, brother. Amen, brother.
I'm preaching over here. Woo! Well, I'm trying to think what else is there. Because you've gone over, what's the future looking like for the three of you for GFM?
So right now we're finishing out our 6-week tour, and then we're going to Germany again in October. As for next year, I don't really know, because I don't have 20/20 vision. So
I see what you did there.
Oh my word! But yeah, we're going back to Germany. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And then we're just gonna keep going. We're putting out music videos, putting out music again, probably really soon.
Putting out some new merch. I mean,
we
never know what's
gonna
happen, man.
That we are waiting to release.
We run all of it independent, so we're in control of everything. So you never know what's gonna happen.
We had a bunch of stuff. We're waiting on the right time to release it.
You just gotta be on our social media. www.thegfmband. It gets all our social media on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, we're on Instagram,
we're trying to get
Twitter.
as much as possible. We want to see our fans as much as possible and get as far as we can everywhere. We want to eventually go worldwide.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot
We
of
already
fun.
in worldwide. We went to Journey last
I mean,
year.
the entire world, though.
Oh yes.
I was gonna say you're pretty much on that path. You've been to Germany once already. You're going there again. You're basically getting on that worldwide path where all of a sudden they're gonna know you in Australia. They're gonna know you in Zimbabwe. They're gonna know you in Pakistan. They're gonna know you in Japan. They're gonna know you everywhere.
That's right, brother.
And I just was basically trying to find different countries from all different continents. I mean, pretty soon, and then in the end, the penguins of Antarctica, they're gonna end up listening to your music.
Antarctica.
I think they listen to Metallica, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
We'll be the only band to play in Antarctica.
Only band.
If you could pull that off, that would be absolutely amazing.
First band playing Antarctica ever. You know how cold that would be?
Oh, my word.
It'd be like an inside venue.
We're
We're doing an inside venue, though.
It'd be like playing outside up here in Milwaukee in January. No big deal.
Oh, my word.
I mean, it might be a little cold.
Florida.
It might be
You
hard for
forgot,
people to
we're
get
from
out there,
Florida.
but you could easily do something where it comes to just broadcasting it on social media. Like, hey, look, we're playing a concert for you guys in the middle of Antarctica. Well, probably not in the like on the South Pole, probably like on the edge, so it's not like you're getting caught in a huge snowstorm or ice storm or whatever goes on down there. Because that would be bad.
Oh, that would be awful.
How was it going to Germany last year? Because I know Germany has this insane rock and metal scene.
It was really crazy. It's anytime you can find the underground scene in America or go to big rock concerts in America, it's like that in Germany, but all the time. So it was really crazy. All the people were super, super nice to us. Like even all the volunteers and helpers, they were just really genuine and really nice to us and really accepting. And it was so like shocking to us, especially because it was our first time being there. And we didn't think that anybody would know who we were, but we packed out both of our shows and we played a church the morning before we played our second show. And the church had never had that many people in there either. So it was just really crazy to see the amount of people that showed up for us and the amount of people that actually knew who we were and just how like involved they got with the set.
So how many more people do you think are going to show up for your Germany tour this year?
I have no idea. They've already like started posting stuff on social media.
1,05,272.
It's gonna be crazy because we already know that they're expecting stuff. So now we're like, oh, now we got to bring it because if we don't bring it, then they'll be disappointed.
Well, the way your music sounds, especially with that EP, and how you've been describing your shows, I'm pretty sure you're gonna bring it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The new songs are a lot of fun to play. So,
out of all the new songs, which is your favorite to play?
Definitely Give Me a Sign. That one is that's my favorite one by far.
we thrash to like the Never Again in the beginning. And then like other side, we have a bunch of fun tricks that we do if there's a big crowd. But Give Me a Sign, it's always it's our like slowest, or not slowest, but like lightest song. But we always end with it, and everyone gets it's our pop punk song, so everyone goes crazy, and it's a lot of fun to get them going for like the very last song.
Well, everyone loves jamming to some good old pop punk style music. It's always that throwback to back in 2004, 2005 when the genre was like one of the most popular genres out there, and everyone has some nostalgia feel towards it. So when they hear a sound or a song that has that influence to it, it always makes people feel a lot happier because it gives them that nostalgia kick.
Yeah.
And I am definitely one of those people.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun when we play it just normally, but if we go to an outside venue or an outside festival, we always throw cupcakes because we started the Great Cupcake War. So if you come to an outside show and we play Give Me a Sign, we always throw cupcakes and everyone smears the cupcake frosting all over them and they become
a Cupcake War survivor.
Okay, how did this Cupcake War thing really start? Because now I'm intrigued because I want to end up throwing cupcakes at people and having a good time.
It was actually C-Day's birthday when we played a festival called Metal the Mountains. And she wanted to throw a whole cake. And we're like, okay, we can't throw a whole cake because we can't get super messy. So we went and got cupcakes and we threw them and it was really fun. And then the next morning we woke up and our whole social media was like, are you going to have this on the next show? Like, you guys are going to do this from now on, right? And so we can't do it in inside venues because we respect their venues and we don't want them to, have to clean it all up. But outside venues, as long as we get the cue to do it, we decided that it's something we're going to do now and just throw cupcakes because that's what GFM's all about. It's just,
not taking yourself too seriously. Like, we're going to throw cupcakes in the crowd.
Yeah, and have fun. Maybe it's her birthday and then we'll say happy birthday to you.
Okay, now I hope I get to see you in an outdoor show on my birthday, even though I'm probably going to have to travel for that because it'd be really cold here if you came here on my birthday, so it'd be indoors. But I really want to I want to start throwing some cupcakes around and that just seems like one insane time. And especially where something just kind of came up and you just decided to do it on a whim and the fans took to it and everyone wants to have that happen now. You pretty much, it's kind of like going viral. You struck gold with something.
I feel like we struck gold a lot, so.
Well, this is just one of those instances.
Myrrh, am I right?
I see what you did there. I kind of set that up without even knowing it. Look at me. Doing something right here. Woohoo!
My word.
So I got a couple other things I was just thinking about in question-wise, because when you were talking about your dad, really, when you were doing a show with Vince Neil and your dad flew out there because still listens to Motley Crue, was your dad one of the biggest influences when it came to starting the band?
Definitely. He was the person who actually suggested that we start the band because we all took music lessons when we were really little and Sude started to play guitar, and then Lou wanted to play the drums, and there were just enough of us. He just said, "You guys should start a band. You can play cover songs of my favorite songs, and like that's all you have to do. And if you don't like to do it, then you can quit after a couple of years. But I'd like to see what it sounded like." And so I got thrown the bass on me, and we started playing cover songs, and we would play a couple like local shows at like just karaoke nights or open mic nights, and a lot of people liked it. And so our guitar teacher suggested that we write our own music, and so we wrote our first song, and then we started playing some of our own songs that we would write. And a lot of people, like, they were saying, "Oh my goodness, you guys are really good." And so we just kept writing, and we put out an EP, then we put out an album, and then we started going on tours. So it was just, he was very much an influence and kind of how this all started.
When you were really starting out playing those cover songs at those open mic nights, or just those, chances whenever you got to play in front of a crowd, what bands were you really covering? Were you covering mostly what your dad was liking with Motley Crue, or were you going off of some stuff that was more prevalent to your specific musical tastes?
We were covering, like Skillet, Petra, old Christian rock, because that's what like our dad liked.
Creed.
And yeah, we were like, this is fun, but we kind of want to brand in our like horizon. And that's when we just started. What was like the heaviest song then we did?
Seek.
Oh no, we wrote our first song, Seek, and then actually the heaviest songs we ever played were the ones we wrote. And so, yeah, we started off really soft, and now
We're here.
So that's cool.
Well, you got to start out somewhere, and I mean, everyone starts out from zero. That's just a given. But as it goes along, it's, you start out with what you grew up on, what you were influenced by, and then you molded that into your own specific sound. And that pretty much is what happens with, personal musical taste for almost any other human out there.
Yeah.
Because that was the same thing that happened with me. My dad is a huge rock fan in the 70s and 80s. And then that's what I grew up on. And then all of a sudden I ran with it the first time I heard Disturbed. So I just ran right forward with it.
Ha!
So when you said you did those festivals with Disturbed, did you ever a chance to meet the guys from Disturbed?
We never got a chance to meet them because we played, what was it? Yeah, we played 3 times a day, and we had to drive 15 hours to the next show, like, overnight. So, yeah, we didn't get to meet them. We actually saw them play. Like, our stage was right next to their stage, and so that was pretty cool.
Say, if you ever have a chance, you have to meet the guys, because I've got a couple of people on our Instagram page that are huge fans of what I'm doing right now, and we talk all the time about Disturbed. And just hearing the stories that they talk about between David and Dan, and specifically John Moyer, just how great these guys are and what they do for all the people that really care about them. It's something like these guys are genuinely might be some of the greatest guys to ever walk the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And I've unfortunately only been able to see them play live once, even though they were my favorite band when I was like 12 years old. So kind of slacking on that a little bit, but what you gonna do? And then before you three really got going into this band, when you were growing up, kind of maybe when you were starting out early, what type of shows were you going to see? What type of concerts were you going to see, and what bands were you going to see?
It's kind of the same of what we were covering, because that's how we
bunch
really.
of Skillet concerts.
Yeah, we really liked We As Human.
They were like our favorite band. We got to see them a bunch of times.
And
We flew all the way to Virginia to see them one time. They played at King's Fest with Skillet.
we really did any like theme parks that put on concerts is what we really went to. And then we didn't we didn't get really into the heavy music concerts until we started doing it our own. And so now we go to concerts when we can, like the World Alive, Ice Time Kills, A Day to Remember. Oh, that was a good one. That was like Papa Roach.
Welcome to Rockville a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Which
So
I kind of like it kind of helped us dive into the metal genre.
yeah. So it's kind of just
It
all
kind
of them.
progressed on its own.
How many times have you seen Skillet? Because you said you've seen Skillet a bunch of times. I just want to know if you guys have the number in mind, or if that's kind of like, we just don't know. We lost track.
5 or 6 times maybe. Not like a whole bunch, but like that's probably the most band we've seen.
I mean, now since we've been on tour with a bunch of bands, we probably yeah. I can tell you Seventh Day's exact fire cues.
Shoot, what was the last time you saw Skillet live?
Probably like when I was.
Then Life Fest, they played the next day at the festival.
We didn't see him.
Oh, true.
I probably saw him when I was like 8, maybe 7.
It's been a while.
Wow, it has been a while. That is insane. I think last time I saw him was like 2.5 weeks ago.
Oh wow.
And it was kind of cool because I've seen them 2 times this year already. The first time I saw them, Jen was not with them because she was doing her solo tour with her solo shows with Winter Jam. So
you saw our buddy Jared playing the drums, huh?
yeah, and Lacey was with them too to cover the vocals. So I just thought, okay, this is insane. This is awesome. But I gotta still see a show with Jen because I gotta see the show with all 4 of them there. I think because it's just not the same then.
Jared's really nice. We actually played a show at the Protest, I think 2 weeks ago, and that was really fun. We got to hang out with them because we went on a tour with them 2 years ago. So getting to see them again was really fun, and we had dance parties and enjoyed cupcakes. So
I really like his drumming style. I used to drum when I was a kid and then gave it up when I was 14 because I had to pick between drumming and playing soccer, and I was a much bigger sports kid, so I went the soccer route. But I always would just start watching certain drummers at times during shows, like, okay, what's their style? And I really did enjoy how he played.
That's so cool. And man, I hate to cut it short. We have a show tonight, but yeah, we have to get going because we're like still at the zoo. But yeah, definitely thank you so much for allowing us to talk to you.
Well, thank you for being on here. I love talking to different bands. I've talked to some great ones, and you 3 are definitely up there in the great ones that I've talked to.
yeah, we definitely have to do this again next time so we have a longer time to talk.
How about this? The next time you have a chance to come to somewhere in the Midwest, if you're in Milwaukee for a show or if you're performing in Milwaukee, then let's try and do something where we can have, instead of, just a phone-in talk, conversation interview, whatever, do it live. Or if I can somehow travel out to wherever you 3 are, whatever works.
Yeah, we definitely got to get you out to a show, man. You've seen Skillet 2 times this year, and you haven't seen us once ever.
I'm probably going to see Skillet 3 times this year, too, because they're in Chicago with Alter Bridge on one night. I'm just thinking, well, I kind of want to go see that.
Okay, well, you got to come see us then. If you're going to see them 3 times, you have to see us at least once.
Well, you're on my list, and I'm going to be tracking to make sure that anytime if you're in Madison, Wisconsin, Chicago, Milwaukee, maybe even Minneapolis, if you're there, I'm making sure I get there.
Yes.
And I will go with another yes, just to complete the cycle. Alrighty, well, I will let you 3 go. Go have yourselves another kick-ass show, and if it's outside, please throw a bunch of cupcakes.
We will.
Fantastic. Thank you, and look forward to talking to you once again.
Yeah, bye.
All right. Bye. All right, everybody. That was GFM, Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh. And yeah, they did have a show tonight, or the night I recorded this. And I got to say, I absolutely love talking to them. They were fantastic. I can't wait to see them live because I mentioned this earlier in the conversation with them, but I didn't really highlight on too much. But it was in their music, they hit you with that right hook. And the reason why I'm saying that right now is just because, again, there are bands that I've listened to that a lot of people have sent me a lot of artists like, hey, check out this. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to check it out. Why not? Very rarely do I get that right hook, hit to the face, just, this is fantastic, right away. In 2019, the other bands that have done that for me are, well, Ascending from Ashes, when I found out about them, Kingdom Collapse, and when I started this out, because I was not necessarily all music literate as I am right now, even though I'll say that again in like 6 months, 2 months, 1 month, when when our Instagram friend and one of our Instagram friend, now Twitter friend, and just one of our best friends on the podcast, and well, not podcast, on My Song a Day, Evie said, you gotta listen to Motionless in White, and yeah, took off on that. So next time GFM are in the Midwest and I have a chance to go see them live, you better believe I am seeing them live because they kick ass. Alrighty, enough with that. We've got a lot of new music to go over too, and I don't want to go into some of it as much as I would, but I kind of have to jump into some of it. So over the past weekend, we had two new albums drop, and we had two singles drop that I was much bigger on. And that's just the way it is. So the two albums that dropped, one was from Crown the Empire with Sudden Sky. That dropped on July 19th. Also dropping on July 19th was the 7th studio album from Sum 41, which was Order in Decline. Now, I have gone on YouTube. Well, not yet, but if you're listening to this podcast, you can easily check out the Crown the Empire review, which came out on Monday night, the 22nd. This podcast on the 23rd. The 24th, as always, we always release videos on YouTube every single Wednesday. So that's when Sum 41's Order Decline reviews coming out. But I'm just going to give you a quick synopsis of each album because I go so much deeper dive into them on YouTube. So let's start out with Crown the Empire because that one's it's already out there. When it came to Crown the Empire, I found out about them basically through the Instagram live streams, which is where I find out a lot of stuff from you guys. And I love it because, hell, I get to find out some of this great stuff from you. It is fantastic. It's fun. It's great. It's awesome. And I got to listen to Crown the Empire, their first 4 singles off the Sun Sky album, before the album came out. Listened to it, and I thought, well, this is great. I am loving this. There are certain things with certain of the songs that I just wasn't necessarily into, but that's when the album came out, and then I listened to the songs that were not released as singles. The songs that were not released as singles on this album, in my opinion, as a collective, were much better than the singles that were released on this album. I liked them more than I liked Sudden Sky, the titular track, more than What Am I, 2020. But Misery had its own different style to it. I don't think Misery did what Hurricane by I Prevail did as well, but I think they did a good job with it, and that came from blending different genres and different styles together. Now, when you're blending different genres and different styles together, it can work. It can really work. And Hurricane by I Prevail did it. Misery did it, but just not as well. But when you're looking at some other songs on there, like Blurry Out of Place, Red Pills, and probably my favorite on the album, Sequence, they just take it to a whole nother level. Crown the Empire in their 4th album are really coming in and fully into their own right now, and I enjoyed it. But that's what I really liked about the album. Things I disliked about the album were, I was talking about the right hooks, like I was talking about with GFM. Yeah, GFM. The Crown the Empire album, they kind of lacked them at certain points when it came to what they could have possibly done with the theme. Now, their theme was all about, going against conformity and being an individual inside and being free to be yourself, which is something that I am big on, something that I am huge on because that's what's really getting me going on the Chord Progression podcast through all the My Song of the Day stuff. Big mantra from our boy Gary V, who I hope to have on here one day, just as, shoot this shit. I love that. But there were a lot of jabs. And the amount of jabs and round right hooks, just for the message, it just didn't mesh as well as I would have liked it to. And the theme I liked. I really liked the theme. But the one thing I didn't like about it was how cut and dry it was on most of the songs and how they really beat it to death. Because they focused on it so much in the same kind of context, where on the songs where I thought they kind of took that theme and maybe put a little bit of a twist on it and focused on a certain aspect of the theme, like how drugs can really kind of affect that, or kind of just going up against politics at sometimes. I really like when they did that because it kind of turned the theme into something more than just as cut and dry. Overall, I do really like this album. It is one of the better albums of the year so far. It is in the top half, not the bottom half. Out of 10, if you watch the YouTube video, I'll tell you right now, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. So now the other new album that came out, Order in Decline by Sum 41. Now, Sum 41, we all know, is a classic pop-punk band from the early 2000s with songs like Fat Lip and In Too Deep, the Hell song. And when it comes to pop-punk, this is what I like about this band. But when it comes to Order and Decline, they really experiment with their sound more with different genres like post-hardcore, hard rock, and just regular good old rock music. So they really experiment a little bit more, and I think that's actually a strong suit on this album because they never sacrifice their Sum 41 sound, and they really just, their experimentation and how they work things, I thought was done to a great deal of perfection. Well, not almost perfection. I say almost perfection because it's not, it's not the perfect album, but I thought their experimentation was the type of experimentation that you should work with, where you can go off and try different things, but as long as that core sound that you've created for yourself is still there, then it doesn't sound like you're completely changing something for for just, I just want to change something completely off topic. Just doesn't necessarily make sense. Now, the other things I liked about this album was it went in deep with songs that touch on some more personal topics, like a song like Death in the Family. I believe that was a single on the album. Yeah, kind of had more like a Pierce the Veil style. And it really focused in on kind of the political climate of the day, but it can get personal too, because I thought it had a lot more of a personal touch to it. And I thought it was sounding good. What else can I say? Turning Away was the first song on the album, well, the first one on there. It had that jab, jab, jab feel where it was just kind of setting stuff up. It kind of had that pop punk, more mature pop punk sound, and I thought it was a good placement, and it did have more of a personal feeling because they're kind of talking about toxic relationships and kind of how you need to be aware of that, and if you're in one, to get out of that, which a lot of people have gone through that, and I feel like someone in the band has gone through that at some point, so really focusing on that. Now, the biggest one where it comes to a personal topic that is explored here is the song Never There. It was one of the singles on the album, and it gives that slow acoustic guitar feel. I guess it's an acoustic song. It's very slow and very brought down, like a pop punk ballad. And when I think pop punk ballad, I'm always thinking, okay, this is a song that kids would be like slow dancing to back in, when I was in middle school or in early high school. So think the mid to late 2000s. But the message behind it and how deep of a place that Derek went into to write this was something that is a true gem on the album. Because he goes into the song and portrays everything as growing up without a father, growing up with just a single mother, and how that lack of a relationship with a father figure has shaped who he is today and how he was growing up. And according to interviews, it was tough for him to do this, and it was a song that he really didn't want to write ever, but it just kind of came out, and this is what came out. I got to give Derek a huge round of applause, and so clap. Yeah, I just clapped for that. Because it's a good song. It really takes a lot of personal, feelings from Derek. It hits hard. I'm into it. I'm into this song. But what I really dislike about the album was two things. One, some of the songs, when they kind of went with that pop punk feel, that's that punk rock feel, some of the messages behind them kind of sounded a little bit forced. What I mean by that is there's a lot of people out there that are doing anti-American establishment songs in the year 2019, and I can kind of tell when people really feel that way, and some people are kind of trying to force that out there. And some of these songs sounded a little bit forced. One didn't, but some of them did, and I just thought, you know what, it kind of brings down the quality a little bit. But when it comes to a more personal place, like how Never There did, and it was something that was very into the band and very into Derek, they went rather well. The other thing that I didn't really like about this album was there were a lot of songs. I've been talking about that right hook. This song lacked a lot of right hooks to really hit you in the face for songs that, I get where it's, where you're talking about Gary Vee, he wants to jab like 100 times before he throws that right hook. When it comes to music, when it comes to an album, when you're putting out songs and you only have put out 10, I'm expecting something where it's like, I'm going to remember more of these. I remember Never There. I remember, 45, A Matter of Time. But the rest, I really don't remember all that well. So a lot of them ran together because they didn't really have that right hook potential. And it just kind of brought down the album for me a good deal. So overall on the album, if you watch YouTube video, I go in depth in each song, but I'll give you my rating right now, 5.5 out of 10. This is in the lower half of albums I've reviewed so far this year, but it is not the lowest. And do I think it would make a, worst album of the year list? No, it won't. So that goes with new albums. Now let's talk singles. So the new 2 singles that came out this week, let me tell you the bands they came from. One is Volbeat. They came out with their fourth single, Cheapside Sloggers, off of their Rewind, Replay, Rebound album coming out on August 2nd. And we're going to go through that one first because I'm going to go through the next one second, and I got to talk about that one a little bit more. So when it comes to Volbeat, oh, my computer's going boop, boop, boop. Okay, so when it comes to Volbeat, I listened to the track, and all I can think of was Cheapside Sloggers was, this is just classic Volbeat right here. Straight, no filter. What you get from Volbeat here is what you expect. And when it comes to its placement on the album, I really do like it as a single because it shows that Volbeat is still going to have that Volbeat sound to him, along with a little bit more of experimentation. Not much, the couple of singles they put out so far, like Leviathan and Last Day Under the Sun. But I think it does well here, and it does drive up some more anticipation for this album to the point where in a week and a half, when it comes out alongside Victorious by Skillet, those are two albums that I can't wait to do reviews on. I'm looking forward to doing reviews on Volbeat's album and Skillet's album as back-to-back more than I was to do album reviews for Crown of the Empire and Sum 41. But then again, we got more coming up down the line. And one that we got coming up down the line, now we're going to get more into this one, is How It Feels to Be Lost by Sleeping With Sirens. They're coming out with a new album called, How It Feels to Be Lost on September 6th. Back in June, we heard the Leave It All Behind single right when it dropped. I believe that dropped on June 21st. Because I remember going up north listening to this song, and I was bopping. I'm like, yeah, Sleeping With Sirens is back to their old sound. Like, I'm not saying, they reverted back to, but they basically went back to the sound they had on their first two albums. So what they had on Let's Cheers to This, their second album, and then with Ears to See and Eyes to Hear, their first album. And I was for it. But of course, when you hear something like that, I'm like, okay, that's just a single. Let's see what happens if another one comes out. Let's see what the sound sounds like. So they did it. They dropped Break Me Down on July 19th. That's the second single off of How It Feels to Be Lost. Now, naturally, I was doing the album reviews on these, but this was the song I had to listen to first. This was the one I listened to first because I'm much more on Sleeping With Sirens than I am with any of the other bands that have come out with new music on July 19th. I think Volbeat was July 18th with that single, but I could be wrong. Well, I don't think I'm wrong on that one. But I listened to Break Me Down, and I was smiling ear to ear on my drive to work listening to this song. The reason being is because this song bopped. This song had that mosh pit feel. This song felt like it came off of With Ears to See and Eyes to Hear, but it sounded more mature to the band, but it didn't really mess with that. It's a good song. I don't know how much more to say about it. This single is just further solidifying that Sleeping With Sirens is going back to that sound where they had on With Ears to See and Eyes to Hear and Let's Cheers to This. They're going back to their core sound. And I have scoured, and I mean scoured, Instagram and Twitter to see what people were saying about this. And I can always tell with Twitter because if it's something that's not going well, you're going to have a huge polarization. If it's something that's going well, you're going to get the basically, the people that are hardcore fans that just love whatever the band does, all for it. And you're going to get people that are casual fans of certain bands. Like when it comes to Sleeping With Sirens, like myself, I'm a little bit bigger than just a casual fan, and casual nonetheless. But I was liking it. Other people that were like, man, this sounds like I listened to it back in 2011. This is great. They were loving it. This is what we want from Sleeping With Sirens. This is the sound we love to hear from them. Now, I'm not saying Sleeping With Sirens should always go with this sound because they should go with however they want to go with. But this is what they are, and it is fantastic to hear that they are going back to the sound that they really truly recognize themselves as. I can't get enough of it. It is shaping up to be, I'm not sure if it'll make Best Album of the Year 2019, but in terms of most surprising and just kind of what happens, this is a huge contender right here before the rest of the album comes out, because when it came to Sleeping With Sirens, again, I was expecting, like, okay, what are they going to do to follow up Gossip, which was more, poppy, more pop rock. It just didn't really fit their style. And now they're coming with How It Feels to Be Lost, and it's just like, this is what everyone wants from them. This is what everyone loves about them, and this is what they're gonna give us. I'm all for it. This very well be the front runner for most surprising album of the year had it come out. But then again, we're only at the beginning stages of the second half of the year. And there's so many more coming out. And we've already had the first half of the year, too, where we had some great albums, in my opinion, like Strength in Numbers by Fever 333. Trauma by I Prevail. Shoot. There was a couple others, too. Yeah, I said Trauma by I Prevail. I did. The Dead Days by Get Scared and Disguised by Motionless in White. We've also had a couple of stinkers, in my opinion, such as Who Do You Trust by Papa Roach, one of my favorite bands. We've had stinkers from Bring Me the Horizon with Amo, again, personal opinion, and The Ghost of Ohio by Andy Black. So we've had some stinkers, we've had some fantastic ones, and this one, this How It Feels to Be Lost, this has something. But then again, there's others I'm more excited to listen to. Also, before we go, because this is going to be a little bit precursor for next week, because one of my favorite vocalists of all time has been not releasing new content for the past 4 years. And he's finally back! The day after this podcast airs, on July 24th, Adam Gontier and Saint Asonia are releasing their first track since their cover of I Don't Care Anymore from 2016. This should be the first song on Saint Asonia 2, their first album since 2015. And I can't wait to hear it because I've been seeing a lot. It's something that got me just insanely happy. I mean, I love Adam Gontier's voice. I do. It's just the way it is. You're not going to tell me otherwise. It just happens. He's got such a unique voice. It's great. It's fantastic. And I'm trying to find the name of the song, because I think it's The Wolves or something like that. But I'm just trying to really see where it shows up. Man, I'm going to find it for you guys. Because if I don't, it's going to really make me mad. Because I got to find it. Gotta find it. The Hunted. Yes, The Hunted, featuring Sully Erna of Godsmack. So now this is going to be insane. Because you've got Adam Gontier and Sully being featured on this song. And it's Saint Asonia. I cannot wait to hear this. I really can't. And during our Instagram live stream, this is one topic I will be heavily discussing. So make sure you join us for our Instagram live stream on July 24th at 9 p.m. Central Time. I cannot wait to see this. I cannot wait to hear this. And I've also been scouring, ever since this came out, I've been scouring a lot over this. And I saw something else, too, that I believe you, as the fans, will really, really, really enjoy hearing. Adam Gontier is also working on as a feature on a certain track for a band. A band that I absolutely love. So what band am I talking about? I'm talking about Breaking Benjamin. Absolutely love Breaking Benjamin. Adam Gontier is going to be featured on one of their songs. How cool is that? Adam Gontier, I was at the show. I had a friend that was at the show when Breaking Benjamin did their acoustic set in 2017, and Adam Gontier came out and sang Dance with the Devil with Ben Burnley, and it's like, well, now you got to do a feature track, and they're going to do it. I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to hear this. Alrighty. Whoa. Something just popped into my head. I got one last thing to talk about with you guys before we go. So, do any of you know who Anthony Vincent is? Do you? Yes? No? Let me tell you. Anthony Vincent is a YouTuber. You might know him as the guy from 10 Second Songs. So what 10 Second Songs is Anthony Vincent takes pop songs or rock songs. He just takes any kind of songs and will do 20 different styles of bands. So he'll take certain bands, certain genre, and he'll just play these songs as if he was in the style of, let's say, Break Benjamin, 3 Days Grace, Disturbed, Rise Against, even some crazy stuff like Frank Sinatra, Freddie Mercury, Queen, Killswitch Engage. I think I've seen that once. Like Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., Tupac. I'm just starting to ramble on by now. But he goes through a lot of different things. And they're fun to watch. But some of the things he's done is he's been asked to do certain songs that he's done 10-second songs for, like Bad Blood by Taylor Swift featuring Kendrick Lamar. And he's been, he did some poll like, okay, we're going to do the song, and what style did we do so far then that 10-second style where we did all the 20 different styles that you want to see the whole song for. Now, this was a while ago, but the fans chose Bad Blood in the style of Disturbed, and it was amazing. I believe they've done Dark Horse by, he's done Dark Horse by Katy Perry in the style of System of a Down, and if I'm correct, he did Hello by Adele in the style of Green Day, and that one is very well done. Now, over the weekend I watched this. I think it was on Friday. I watched a video. It was Billie Eilish's Bad Guy in 20 different styles. And there were some good ones. There were some bad ones. But there was one where he did the chorus of it, and it just kind of stuck with me. I thought, this is good. They should do a cover of this. And it was Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. They did the 10-second part of the chorus by Breaking Benjamin. So on Patreon, Anthony Vincent had, the Patreon subscribers, content followers, whatever you may call them. He had them vote to see which band and which style that he covered. Do they want to see the whole song of Billie Eilish's Bad Guy in the style of? And the number one choice was Breaking Benjamin. I listened to it. It is amazing. Not gonna lie, it is absolutely amazing. It is done so well. It gives you this So Cold and Diary of Jane vibe. It is great. I really hope that Breaking Benjamin sees this. I hope Ben Burnley sees this, and I hope he thinks, man, we got to cover this song. And maybe if you see a show that Anthony Vincent's at, maybe bring him up on stage and let him play it. Because a dude can play guitar. And maybe some other stuff too, because I know he used to do like every single one by himself. And so you record all the instruments, all the sound, you do everything for it. And it's amazing to see. But I really hope that the band sees it, and you guys should watch it too, or listen to it. It literally sounds maybe 98 to 99% accurate of what Breaking Benjamin would cover Billie Eilish. What it would sound like. It sounds that good. And I hope you guys take a listen to it. I hope you guys watch it. I hope you guys view it. Anthony Vincent, if you're listening to this, I gotta say, I'm very impressed. I'm blown away by that Breaking Benjamin cover of Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. I'm blown away by it, man. You did a fantastic job, and that's it for me. So I want to thank everyone for listening to the Chord Progression podcast brought to you by My Song a Day, Rock 2000 Day. We had a great chat with the ladies of GFM, Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh. And you better believe I want them back on the podcast. You better believe that if I get a chance that they will be on the podcast and hopefully get to have them on here live. Will I have them on here live? Well, maybe. Will I get to see them live? Next time they have a chance to come to the Midwest, you better frickin' believe I'm going to see them live. I can't wait to see them. Their sound was something that, again, hit me in the gut, hit me in the face, as fantastic from the get-go, and I really want to see them play live. So, that's it for me this week. That's it for us this week. I hope you guys enjoyed us with the conversation with Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh, GFM. If you go to a show, try and get into a cupcake fight, because that sounds like it is one hell of a time, and I can't wait to be a part of that at some point. And love giving my thoughts on new music. As we got so much more new music coming down the pipeline, can't wait. So, anything from GFM, anything from us, social-wise, all in the description. And that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you for listening to the Chord Progression podcast brought to you by My Song a Day, Rock 2000 to today. My name's Kevin. I love you guys. See ya!